Chapter 29. The Steam Engine, 18th Century, Fueling the Industrial Revolution. The invention and subsequent perfection of the steam engine in the 18th century stands as one of the most transformative developments in human history, ushering in the Industrial Revolution and reshaping every aspect of society, from industry and transportation to urbanization and daily life. While the basic concept of steam power had been explored for centuries, it was the work of James Watt in the 1760s that perfected the technology, making steam engines efficient enough to drive large-scale industrial machinery. This newfound ability to harness steam power not only revolutionized production in factories, but also transformed the way people traveled, worked, and lived. The availability of steam power marked the beginning of an era of rapid technological advancement, economic growth, and social change. Factories powered by steam engines could produce goods at an unprecedented scale, leading to the rise of industrial capitalism. Meanwhile, steam-powered trains and ships reduced the time and cost of transportation, linking markets and people across vast distances. The steam engine's impact was felt globally, as it accelerated urbanization, expanded colonial empires, and created new job opportunities. The resulting shifts in production and labor patterns forever altered the social fabric of the 19th century, laying the groundwork for the modern world. This chapter will explore the development of the steam engine, its role in powering the Industrial Revolution, and its profound effects on industry, transportation, and daily life. By examining the ripple effects of this technological breakthrough, we can better understand how steam power became a catalyst for progress, improving living standards and transforming society. The early development of steam power. The idea of using steam to generate motion dates back to ancient times. In the 1st century CE, Hero of Alexandria, a Greek engineer, created a device known as the eolipoli, which used steam pressure to rotate a small sphere. While this early experiment demonstrated the potential of steam power, it remained a curiosity rather than a practical tool. It wasn't until the 17th and 18th centuries that inventors in Europe began seriously experimenting with steam power for industrial purposes. The first practical use of steam power came in the early 1700s, when Thomas Newcomen, an English blacksmith, developed the atmospheric steam engine to pump water out of flooded coal mines. Newcomen's engine worked by using steam to create a vacuum that pulled a piston downward, allowing mine shafts to be drained of water. This was a crucial development in the context of coal mining, as deeper mines were prone to flooding, and traditional water pumps powered by horses were inefficient and costly. Newcomen's steam engine provided a solution, but it was slow and consumed large amounts of fuel, limiting its use outside of mining operations. Despite its limitations, Newcomen's engine laid the foundation for future advancements. It demonstrated that steam power could be harnessed to perform work, and that it had the potential to drive more than just water pumps. It was this potential that inspired James Watt, a Scottish engineer and inventor, to begin improving on Newcomen's design. James Watt and the birth of the modern steam engine. In the 1760s, James Watt made a series of crucial innovations that would transform the steam engine from a niche tool into a powerful driver of the Industrial Revolution. While working as an instrument maker at the University of Glasgow, Watt was asked to repair a model of Newcomen's steam engine. During this process, he realized that the engine's inefficiency was due to the loss of heat during the condensation of steam. Watt's solution was to add a separate condenser, which allowed the engine to reuse the steam without significant loss of heat. This improvement made the engine far more efficient, reducing fuel consumption and enabling it to operate continuously. Watt's next breakthrough came with his invention of the rotary motion mechanism, which converted the up and down movement of the piston into a circular motion. This innovation allowed steam engines to power factory machinery, transforming industries such as textiles, iron production, and manufacturing. Watt also developed a system of governors to regulate the speed of the engine, making it more reliable and versatile. In partnership with Matthew Boulton, a successful English manufacturer, Watt began marketing his improved steam engines to industries across Britain. The pair's business, Boulton and Watt, became the leading producer of steam engines, supplying factories, mills, and mines with the new technology. The steam engine's ability to drive large machines made it indispensable in the emerging factories of the Industrial Revolution, allowing production to scale up dramatically. The steam engine and the Industrial Revolution. The steam engine was the driving force behind the Industrial Revolution, a period of rapid industrialization that began in Britain in the late 18th century and spread to Europe, North America, and beyond. The transition from handcraft production to machine-based manufacturing fundamentally altered the structure of economies and societies. Before the advent of steam power, most manufacturing was done by hand or with the help of simple water-wind-powered machines. These methods had significant limitations, as they relied on natural forces that were not always reliable or available in sufficient quantities. Factories powered by steam engines, however, could operate continuously and at much greater speeds than those powered by traditional methods. This meant that goods could be produced on a mass scale, significantly lowering costs and making products more accessible to the general population. The textile industry was one of the first to adopt steam-powered machinery, and it quickly became the dominant sector of the early Industrial Revolution. Before steam engines, textiles were woven on hand looms by skilled artisans. This process was time-consuming and labor-intensive, producing only a small amount of cloth each day. The introduction of steam-powered spinning machines and power looms in the late 18th century revolutionized textile production, allowing factories to produce vast quantities of cloth in a fraction of the time. As textile production increased, prices fell, and the demand for raw materials like cotton grew, further fueling industrial expansion. The steam engine's impact extended beyond textiles. In the iron industry, for example, steam-powered machines were used to operate blast furnaces, improving the efficiency of iron production and making it possible to produce larger quantities of iron for use in construction, machinery, and transportation. Steam engines also powered milling machines, sawing machines, and pumping systems, which contributed to the growth of industries such as mining, construction, and shipbuilding. Steam power and transportation. Trains and ships. The availability of steam power transformed not only industry but also transportation, reshaping global trade, commerce, and daily life. The development of steam-powered trains and ships in the early 19th century revolutionized the movement of goods and people, making transportation faster, cheaper, and more efficient than ever before. The first steam-powered locomotives were developed in the early 1800s by engineers such as George Stephenson. In 1825, Stephenson's locomotive, the Locomotion No. 1, was used to pull the first train on the Stockton and Darlington Railway in England, marking the beginning of the railway era. Steam locomotives could travel at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, a remarkable feat at the time, and they could hold much heavier loads than horse-drawn carts. The introduction of railroads had a profound impact on industry and commerce. By linking factories to markets, railroads facilitated the transport of goods across long distances, opening up new markets and enabling industries to expand beyond their local regions. Raw materials such as coal, iron, and cotton could now be transported quickly and in bulk, allowing factories to operate on a larger scale and with greater efficiency. Railroads also stimulated the growth of cities, as they made it easier for people to move to urban areas in search of work. Steam-powered ships were equally transformative. The development of steamships in the early 19th century made it possible to travel across the seas faster and more reliably than ever before. Unlike sailing ships, which depended on wind and weather conditions, steamships could maintain a consistent speed and navigate more direct routes. This revolutionized international trade, as goods could be transported across oceans in a fraction of the time it had previously taken. Steamships also played a critical role in the expansion of colonial empires, as European powers used them to establish and maintain control over distant territories. The combination of steam-powered trains and ships created a truly global economy, connecting markets across continents and facilitating the movement of goods, people, and ideas on an unprecedented scale. The speed and efficiency of steam-powered transportation raised living standards by making products from distant lands more affordable and accessible to ordinary people. Urbanization and social change. The rise of steam-powered industries and transportation systems fueled rapid urbanization in the 19th century. As factories multiplied and job opportunities grew, millions of people migrated from rural areas to cities in search of work. This shift had profound social and economic consequences, as industrial cities like Manchester, Birmingham, and Glasgow in Britain, and New York and Philadelphia in the United States swelled in size and population. While industrialization created new opportunities for wealth and economic growth, it also brought with it a host of social challenges. The rapid growth of cities led to overcrowded living conditions, with many workers and their families living in cramped, unsanitary tenements. Factory work was often dangerous and grueling, with long hours, low wages, and little job security. Child labor was common, and workers had few legal protections. However, the economic opportunities created by the steam engine also helped lift people out of poverty. Industrial jobs, despite their harsh conditions, provided a steady income for millions of workers who had previously relied on seasonal agricultural labor. As urban populations grew, so did the demand for goods and services, creating jobs in sectors such as construction, retail, and transportation. The rise of industrial capitalism led to the creation of a new middle class of factory owners, merchants, and professionals who benefited from the economic boom. The social changes brought about by the steam engine also spurred political movements aimed at improving the lives of workers. Labor unions began to form in the mid-19th century, advocating for better working conditions, shorter hours, and higher wages. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, governments in industrialized countries began to pass labor laws to regulate working conditions and provide protections for workers, laying the groundwork for the modern welfare state. Global impact of steam power. The impact of the steam engine extended far beyond Europe and North America. The availability of steam power facilitated the expansion of European colonial empires, as steamships and railroads made it easier to transport troops, goods, and raw materials between colonies and imperial centers. In Africa, Asia, and the Americas, steam power became a tool of both economic development and imperial exploitation, as European powers used their technological advantage to extract resources and dominate local populations. At the same time, the global spread of steam technology contributed to the modernization of economies around the world. Countries such as Japan, which industrialized rapidly during the Meiji Restoration, adopted steam-powered machinery to modernize their industries and transportation systems. Japan's successful embrace of steam power enabled it to emerge as a major industrial and military power by the early 20th century. But the global availability of steam-powered transportation also brought new opportunities for trade and cultural exchange. Railroads and steamships connected previously isolated regions to the global economy, allowing goods, people, and ideas to flow across borders more freely than ever before. The resulting exchange of knowledge and technology played a key role in the spread of industrialization to new regions, fueling economic growth and development. The legacy of the steam engine. The steam engine's legacy can be seen in every aspect of modern life. Its invention revolutionized industry, transportation, and commerce, paving the way for the second industrial revolution in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which introduced electricity, the internal combustion techniques. The steam engine also laid the groundwork for the development of railroads, steamships, and later automobiles and aeroplanes, all of which reshaped the world in the centuries to come. The steam engine's impact on society was equally profound. It accelerated the transition from an agrarian economy to an industrial one, leading to the rise of cities, the growth of the middle class, and the emergence of new political and social movements. The economic growth fueled by steam power raised living standards for millions of people, creating new opportunities for wealth and social mobility. Today, while steam engines have largely been replaced by more advanced technologies, their influence can still be felt in the design of modern power plants, transportation systems, and industrial machinery. The principles of thermodynamics and mechanical engineering that were developed to harness steam power continue to shape the way we think about energy and efficiency in the 21st century. Illusion. The development and widespread availability of the steam engine in the 18th century marked a turning point in human history, driving the Industrial Revolution and reshaping the world in ways that continue to affect us today. By making steam power available to industries, transportation systems, and cities, the steam engine accelerated production, transformed daily life. It created new opportunities for economic growth, job creation, and social change, lifting millions of people out of poverty and setting the stage for the modern, industrialized world. The story of the steam engine is a powerful reminder of how technological innovations can transform society when they are made accessible to all. Just as the steam engine fueled the Industrial Revolution and raised living standards for millions, future technologies, such as artificial intelligence, have the potential to drive progress and improve human well-being on a global scale. Ensuring that these technologies are developed and shared equitably will be key to creating a future where everyone can benefit from the fruits of innovation. Chapter 30. Electric Power, Late 19th Century.